Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. Former lightweight world champion Anthony Crolla is confident that his former rival Vasily Lomachenko can still return to the top of their division despite a painful defeat by Teofimo Lopez in October 2020. Without any doubt, I believe that Lomachenko can become the #1 lightweight. It's an exciting division that has Gervonta Davis, Garcia. Teofimo Lopez will definitely rise up. I didn't mention George Kambosos, who is now the division leader, but I believe without a shadow of a doubt that Lomachenko can again become the #1 in the lightweight division. Anthony Crolla said in an interview, recalled that after losing by unanimous decision from Lopez, Lomachenko defeated Masayoshi, Nakatani and Richard Commey. Now the Ukrainian is the main candidate for a fight with the absolute champion of the lightweight division, George Kambosos. Former lightweight world champion Anthony Crolla discussed rumors about the organization of a duel between his ex-rival Vasily Lomachenko and the absolute champion of the 135 pounds division, George Kambosos. Kambosos is the first lightweight number. I think Lomachenko will beat everyone in this division, but Kambosos is still #1 because he defeated the previous leader. I suspect you want to talk about the situation around Devin Haney. Now everyone wants to fight with Kambosos. At the moment, it looks like George will have a fight with Lomachenko. But we will see. I think Haney is a very talented, great fighter, but he said, no matter how much Lomachenko takes, I will take the same amount. No, he shouldn't have been told that he would take less. I hope to see that Kambosos-Lomachenko fight, and I will praise Kambosos if he accepted this fight, because this is the most difficult opponent he can fight, Anthony Crolla said in an interview. Agis Klimas, manager of the Ukrainian former world champion in 3 categories Vasyl Lomachenko, in an interview with a YouTube channel spoke about the potential rematch between his ward and American Teofimo Lopez. The rematch with Lopez depends on Lomachenko. It's as Vasily says, I don't like him at all. What am I going to say about him? Or maybe Vasily will say, well, what do you want it now? I can prove it to you. It's hard to say how things will turn out here. Now his name does not appear with us. We have other plans, other hopes. Agis Klimas confirmed that Vasily Lomachenko has more chances to share the ring with George Kambosos than Devin Haney. Agis Klimas in an interview confirmed that his word has more chances to share the ring with George Kambosos. Yes, we agree to all the terms of the Kambosos. Why not? The chances are great. George's side is also interested. Whose name can be higher in this weight category than Vasily Lomachenko? I don't think Australia knows very much who Haney is, and everyone in Australia knows Vasily Lomachenko, said Klimas. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 100 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. That's the view of Haney promoter Eddie Hearn as the negotiations continue between Kambosos and Lomachenko. Right now, Haney is seemingly taking a back seat due to Kambosos' handler Ludibella, accusing Hearn of lowballing the Teofimo Lopez conqueror. For Hearn, it's time to put his money where his mouth is, say Devin and Kambosos. Otherwise, they will take on their mandatory challenger in the Ukrainian Master. Addressing the situation, the matchroom boss stated, because of the WBO ruling for George Kambosos, which is they've altered negotiations for the Lomachenko fight, really the only fight that George Kambosos is going to get away with is the undisputed fight anyway, to the DAZN boxing show. I think really you have two options, Devin Haney for the undisputed world championship, or he's got Vasily Lomachenko in defense of his world title. Both good fights, but one gives you undisputed and one gives you the opportunity, I think, to do a deal quite easily with us and DAZN. I think it's the best option for him. Of course, Hearn would say that. Dibella would only state one thing about the dealness when posting a cryptic message, not directly aimed at Hearn. Dibella posted a meaning of pathological lying, which says, also known as mythomania and pseudologia fantastica, is a mental disorder in which the person habitually or compulsively lies. The reach for such lies often serves no obvious purpose other than to paint oneself as a hero or victim depending on the circumstance. Former world champion Ishi Smith, who has a connection to Dibella from his career, retweeted the post before adding his view. It takes two to tango. I've worked with Lou, but I never had a chance to work with Hearn. If I had to pick who was right or wrong regarding George and Devin, I'm sitting with Lou Dibella. Hearn has yet to deliver a major fight for Devin Haney. He's stuck paying him 7 figures, point out Sweet. He added, Teofimo beat Loma in a pandemic with a crowd barely in the arena, so if you want to be the man, you have to be the man and adhere to the rules. That's how this works. Or the man needs to be compensated for agreeing to your terms. Obviously, Hearn's offer was bull. There needs to be a deal soon. Gervonta Davis' trainer is eager for Lomachenko showdown. We're waiting on that fight. Gervonta Davis-Vasily Lomachenko lightweight matchup is music to Calvin Ford's ears. Ford, a longtime trainer of Baltimore's Davis, recently expounded his thoughts about that hypothetical pairing. A Davis-Lomachenko all-southpaw fight would obviously garner massive attention as one of the best fights one could make in the competitive lightweight division, but like so many of the most intriguing matchups in the sport, it is hampered by politics. Davis is promoted by premier boxing champions, while Lomachenko is backed by rival entity Top Rank. Discord aside, count Ford, as well as Davis, as a fan of that fight. We're waiting on that fight, you know what I'm saying? We waited on that fight. Like I said, it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a chess match. Davis Lomachenko bout has been floated as a possibility for a number of years, stretching back to when Davis was still campaigning at 113 pounds. But it doesn't not appear serious negotiations ever took place. Davis, moreover, acknowledged at one point to his handles, Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather Jr. were not in a rush to put him in the fight with the Ukrainian, as they had a plan in place to groom him into attraction. Me and Floyd, we actually talk about it, Davis said in 2019, referring to the Lomachenko fight. Even me and Al talked about it, you know? But it's about making it at the right time. Everything don't happen overnight. We know that Al and Top Rank had Bob Arum, they did business together before, but it'd be hard making fights with them too. But I'm just a student of the game, I have a great team, I'm just following their lead. Since that period, the hard-hitting Davis has emerged as one of the handful of American fighters with bona fide crossover appeal and has fought his last 3 fights on pay-per-view. Davis, 27, is coming off a 12th-round unanimous decision over Isaac Cruz in December at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The 33-year-old Lomachenko was also in the ring in December, defeating Richard Commey by unanimous decision at Madison Square Garden in New York. The two-time Olympian and 3-division world champion unified the lightweight division before giving up his belts in a loss to Teofimo Lopez in 2020. Now the two-time Olympic gold medal winner is the front-runner to face unified lightweight champion George Kambosos, who unseated Lopez last year. Ford made it clear that Lomachenko is still an attractive proposition in his team's eyes. I don't know if Loma gonna take the chances that he takes with other fighters as he does with Tank, but that's like a mega fight, to tell the truth, Ford said. That's the fight people been waiting on, said the coach. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.